Good morning again. So we will be starting this webinar now. Today's topic for our present webinar is how SMEs or SMBs reinventing productivity with Microsoft Business Central. This is Swapnil from the marketing team. I'm a senior manager with SA Technologies. We have got two more speakers. Those will be accompanying who will be carrying this webinar today. So Prashant Thadisar, he is a solution expert with more than 20 years of experience that and he takes care of the MS Business Central as well as the another Microsoft initiatives with SA Technologies. We do also have a senior member from our team that is Mr. Arnav Kumar, who is an associate director for Microsoft products and services with SA Technologies. We'll go to the next slide. That is what is our agenda for today's webinar. So today we'll have a very brief introduction about SA Technologies, what are our services, what are the Microsoft practices that we are involved in, and how we are helping our customers to take a lead in terms of a Microsoft product and services initiatives. What are the business challenges and how Microsoft Business Central can help various businesses to overcome these business challenges in a simple and an efficient way. We'll also cover the overview of the Business Central, its features, as well as the key important things that definitely matters to each and every business. We'll also run through a business or the product demo regarding the Microsoft Business Central, as well as we will be covering few of the industry cases related to it. And in the concluding session, we will cover the question and answers from your side, and we will definitely try to answer each of the questions during this session. Now, I like to invite Mr. Arnav to take ahead this session from here. Over to you, Arnav, now.
Hey, thanks, Swapnil. Hi, all. I'm Arnav, and I look after the Microsoft initiatives in SA Technologies. Um, Before we jump into the challenges and the products, let me just brief you that what SA Technologies is all about. We are a 20 plus year old company, and we started in California, US. And right now we have offices in India, US, and Canada. In India, we are having 5 different locations where we have offices like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Gurgaon, and Pune is our head office. And in Pune, we have approximately 250 plus guys in our office. And apart from that, in total, we are 750 plus employees company across world. And we are working with 100 plus Fortune 500 and Global 2000 companies. With them, we are doing actively billing across world. And in terms of Microsoft, we are Microsoft Gold Partner for last 7 plus years, and we are working with various technologies that includes D365, CRM, Power BI, and Microsoft Business Central. And we are ISO 20000 2011 certified company. And in Microsoft Consulting Services, we are working with various clients for implementation and consulting, application integration, upgrades, application management, cloud services, and testing services. And the, in last couple of years, we have worked with various clients in Middle East, India, US for these engagements. And for next section of this webinar, I would like to invite Prashant, who is our solution expert, and he will take over from here. Over to you, Prashant.
Yeah, thanks, Swapnil, very much, and thanks, Arno, also very much. So, good morning, all. Good afternoon, everybody. So, let me just start explaining you or take you to a small walkthrough of the current business challenges, starting from the business challenges which we have, like all of our organization, company, or enterprise face during an ERP implementation, or whenever we have a technology shift, or when we want to implement an ERP. first of the list, the one of the topmost business challenges which we have noticed based on our experience is having a correct inventory management. Now, when we say a correct inventory management means we are talking about not only inventory but about monitoring, tracking, reporting aspects, as well as defining, or we should know in terms of what is the quantity as well as value for the inventory which we are having. All of us are aware that when we say inventory, it's gold for us. Further, now based on this also, most of the industry would have inventory as materials. But looking into all different kinds of businesses and domains, we see that inventory is not only related to materials, but also somewhere it has machines or equipments, like somebody gives rental. So whether there is a car or whether there is any equipment given for a rental, we call them as an also as an inventory. We also have methods, certain technologies, certain patent processes which people follow. So those also become an inventory for that particular organization. And also last but not the least, we call about manpower. Let us say that there is a recruitment company. So the man, each resource, each recruit, that becomes an inventory. The number of recruitment done over a period of time. Similarly, let us say there are different kind of subcontractor business. There are people who are being hired or who've been given hired or in consultancy. So generalize, when we talk about inventory, it does include man, material, machine, and methods. At the same time, it is very important for at every different level of the management to know in terms of quantity how much they have, and in terms of value what are they net worth of. So managing this is one of the top business challenges. I would now move into the next slide, which would cover the second most business challenges. We have one of the most second business challenges is having a correct management reporting. Now, this is also very important. We always have struggle, or we always find in order to have a correct reporting, it is always a pain, or it becomes a challenges. There are different scenarios which we have when we move across organization, company, or enterprise. To start with, let us say that there is a holding company or a group company or a parent company or a child company. They always have a reporting requirement in terms of company wise, group company wise. Then there are different locations, so location wise. We also have sometimes different divisions, division wise reporting. Moving from location and company wise, we move into the departmental wise and the project wise reporting. This also becomes very important parameters which the reportings are required. From the department wise and from the project wise, we move to the organizational hierarchy. We always know that there are at least 3 levels of management. We have the line managers, we have the middle management, and we have the top management. The reporting per se at each of the level has a different significance, importance, and different information needs to be displayed. It also becomes a very much challenge to cater the reporting requirement at a single stroke for all of this management. We then, again, one of the most important is the profit versus cost and the income versus expenses. We always see that there are always reports requirement in terms of what is the profit or what is the cost or what is the income versus the expenses at a department level, branch level, company level, country level, at a unit level, at a project level. And then coming back to the project, we have the RAG status, which is, the red, amber, and green status. Any kind of construction projects, any kind of turnkey projects, all of us are very much, the top management is always keen to know that what is my status? Are we in red or are we in a green zone? These are something which is very important to the management, and also it becomes a challenge for the management to ensure that they have correct reporting so that the entire organization can move in a specific direction. Let me come back now. I will move to the next slide, which would cover the third important business challenge. This is something also which we have noticed over the experience, that there are different and multiple systems running across an organization or an enterprise. So to generate and report, or to generate an information, or to have one common platform is always a tough challenges. We also see that based on a country, region, or a specific area we have a local system in place. If we are in a Middle East, or if we are in a US, or or if we are in India, when we talk about tally, it is 11. When we talk about finance, it is tally in India, it is Peachtree, okay, or it is a this kind of this kind of systems which are local specific systems do come into the picture. And whenever a company or an organization wants to move to a ERP system, it becomes a challenges. Another most important is the documentation. We do have processes, methodologies, and different kinds of work which has been followed across the department. But when we try to present, when we try to document it, or if you want to see it to somebody, or if you want to, have a system in place, we want to define the processes. We want to have some sort of analysis. When we get into that part, we suddenly find that the documentation suddenly becomes a challenge. All the local systems or the earlier systems or the legacy systems, in terms of documentation, what has been done, what has been happening, this is a major challenge which we have a big gap. Now next we move with a common platform. We always see that, of course, having a system, even if everything is in place, but then one platform where everybody can come and speak is key differentiator and very, very important parameter in today's organization, today's environment, if we have to collectively go together from one step to another step. Now, the last, if you see, is a dependency. What happens is that we do have systems. Ultimately, what happens is that there is someone who is controlling it. It can be a system, it can be an organization, it can be a resource. Suddenly, if the resource disappears or that company disappears, a local company is losing its existence, then you find that you are at ground zero or you are at a dark hole. So these are the parameters which, of course, I have presented in terms of top 5 things for lack of centralized system, which forms the business challenges. Let me now take you to another next slide, which we talk about fourth business challenge, which is an IT system maintenance. Now, this is also one of the key area, or you can say pain area, or the IT is looked at different perspective under different kinds of people. Now let us try to understand what is an IT system in itself. IT system in itself would mean to have a server room. Some sort of server room needs to be there. There will be servers in that server room. Once you have a server, there will be different databases, different environments, production environment, testing environment, and so on and so forth. And all of these would then require a backup, because IT would always say, that let us say that something goes wrong, like we talk about a redundancy, or we talk about a failover strategy, or we talk about a disaster recovery, all these things makes us to go for a backup. And then again, the backup also requires a backup, because we always talk about, that, okay, what happens if the system goes down? What happens if the backup does not work? Because we hardly check whether the backups are working or not. Now, all those things, again, we get into, there is a support required 24/7 to ensure that the server room, the server, the environment is up and running. And not only in terms of the infrastructure, but we also find that there are resources also specified, skilled resources. If I take to IBM, or if I take 10-15 years old technology or a database, or I need that kind of resource to manage that. Not only I need that kind of resource to manage that, but I am also dependent on that resource. So what we try to generalize or conclude is that IT system maintenance does becomes one of the important parameters. Now here I would just like to also tell you that when we talk about business central, we have an on cloud. Now the one word on cloud removes all these hassles at a one go. This is one of the beauty of Microsoft. Okay, probably I will speak this also into the coming slides, but just to give you a heads up that we can, with an on cloud, all these things goes at a simple stroke. Okay, let me take to the next slide, which is nothing but one of the last slide in terms of business challenges. So let us say that we do have all in place. We have a system, we are in a place. Now let's look into the technology, or look into the advance, the way the world is moving, the technology is moving, the devices are coming up, new versions, new updates, new devices, the way the work environment is changing. Earlier it was work to office, now it is work to home, remote working is coming into the picture. The people are disconnected. It is only the technology which keeps all of them connected. And here we see that if we go into a legacy system or a generation old system, or even if we have a system, but if it does not comprehend or integrate in itself with the different kinds of OS. Let us talk about mobile. So does it speak with iOS, Android, and Mac OS? Does it have that kind of limit, does it speak with different kinds of devices across OS, all those things? So does it cope with today's technology, and will it take me to tomorrow's? Does it have the vision also for tomorrow's? This kind of thing. Today we start thinking, okay, let us, after finishing technology limitations, we come to bug fixes. Now, in IT, whether you have any systems or you have any in place, it does require a maintenance, a routine maintenance. There are some sorts of bug fixes which are either not found later, or it has been suddenly come due to the change in the technology or due to the change of different peripherals. So the bug, having a system in place, you need to do some sort of bug fix. After bug fix, there are updates which happens on a regular basis. Now again, having all these things, this again needs to be integrated with my today's environment. Also we find, that there are a lot of mergers, acquisitions which happens today. Okay, suddenly that becomes a limiting parameter. Okay, we now want to integrate the system with an X system or with an Y system. Okay, and yes, it can. The people would say, the system or the company would say, the partner would say, yes, it can be integrated, but then there will be the cost of customizations. So having said all these things, ultimately it boils down to the dollar value, which is nothing but customizations. Every now and then or frequent, you're always concerned, is it customized? Please don't tell me that it will be customizations, because the moment it is customizations, there is a dollar value coming into the picture. So not only taking all these things, but also having a support. You need a reliable support. You need somebody to support you, either an organization or a company or a group of people or a person within sitting in your office for a support. So again, the more you are dependent to different kinds of parameters, different kinds of situations, that vulnerable the situation of an organization, of that enterprise is. So that was all what I had summed up and presented you in different slides with different, parameters. I now get into the section 2. There may be some questions which came across everybody. They may just enter into the box, okay, and then probably at the end of the presentation, we'll take it. I now get into the next slide. So all of us have heard about the business challenges. Now let us try to understand, get into the solutioning part. The first was the problem, the solution part. Now the second half, we are getting into the solutioning per se. So we have section 3, which covers the product in terms of the key result areas, key features, and we are now talking about Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, which was formerly known as Navision. So let us now try to understand, this slide. Now this is very important slide, which is basically, you can say the product Navision or the Business Central is been there in market from last 20 years. Trying to sum up, and I do have an experience also more than 15 years into this product. So try to sum up, consolidate, and bring in, the top 6 or one of those top 6 parameters, okay, which are sort of a key features or the USP when we talk about a product, Microsoft Business Central product, which tries to, so let us try to take one by one. Now, first and foremost is the simple or the simplicity. Now, what this simplicity means? The simplicity means is that as of now, if you talk about Business Central or Navision, there are around 160,000 implementation across world. There are around 2 million licenses which has been sold. So this information is from Microsoft. So as of now, currently, this product has the highest number of seats selling. So that automatically tells us the usability point of view, that yes, at least people are buying it or it has been sold. Now, when it has sold, definitely, there is something So that is where the simplicity comes into the picture. Having a Microsoft platform, we all of us knows, we have an Excel, we have Word. I mean, the application is such that, the day you start using it, you become familiarize yourself, because we have been using Microsoft. We are with Microsoft also from last 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. So the product, as I have a product demo as well, whereby you will be able to see that, you don't require a special skill or a special certification or a special knowledge, required. It's a normal person or simple, semi-skilled sucker or unskilled guy can take the system, and slow and progressively he can start adapting and learning to it. That's how the system is. Okay, that is where, when we talk about the adaptability, familiarity, and flexibility, we say it's an easy to learn. Okay, now having said that, it is simple. All of us know, when we say Microsoft, one thing is there, that people will be able to learn it. Okay, it will be easy to comprehend. Now let us try to understand the fast and the rapid. We say fast in terms of the learning curve of that particular guy is quite fast. At the same time, when we got into, and when we try to implement the product, the features, the modules across the organization, across the enterprises, the departments, okay, we can do it in a much, much faster way. Now, why we can do it a faster way? Okay, just to give you one line answer, that across the system, the UI is same. Okay, when I show you the product, I will show you that when I say the UI is same means what? Across all orders, any kind of transactions, any kind of masters, the UI is same. Because the UI is same, the grasping power of the individual increases. I will slowly take you to the text. We get into the rapid. Now, what is the rapid? Is nothing but Microsoft has come up with the rapid implementation methodology. So, you can do the implementation each month much, much, much faster rates and faster time compared to any other ERP. Okay, we get into the, we all of us know that customizations, integrations, and com reliability and scalability, not only today's but tomorrow's technology, is one of a key area which will be contributing heavily on the growth of an organization, of an individual. So that is where we talk about less and no code. When we talk about Microsoft, again, I will get into demonstrate you that, without doing any customizations, or with minimum or almost no code customizations, this also concept which they have came up with, a no code product, no code development product. So that is that part. And last but not the least, you see, till yesterday, there were the the customizations, the products, whatever were sold were partner specific or region specific or country specific or module specific. Now there is a Microsoft marketplace. Just like you have a Google Play Store, you have a marketplace. In this marketplace, there are around thousands of custom add-on solutions which are available. These add-on solutions are free. Okay, they gave you a trial period. Okay, so probably what happens is that today, even if you want to do any kind of customizations, or if the partner says that this is not out of the box a customization, you have a liberty, you have a leverage to go into the net, just check, is this available? Okay, if this is available, fair enough. Is this a trial version available? Fair enough. Let me see whether it works or not. So this kind of flexibility, which helps you in decision making, is also available with the marketplace and the market this product. So this was how I tried to summarize the product in brief. I will now take you to the product itself. Okay, so which will straight away you can relate each of the topic, each of the points. So I get into the next slide. So the Business Central product itself has more than 5,000 features. So again, what I have done is that I will try to take you to 4 or 5 screens, which will just tell you, or which will give you, it will create that spark in you, that how simple, how less code, no code customizations, because what I am saying, is it really making sense? Okay, so that kind of things I would like to showcase you through the product, and I'll cover these 5 topics. Okay, so let me now take you to the product. I will just bring in, just give me a second. Yep. A couple of more seconds. Yeah. So I believe we all are able to see the product. Yes. Okay, fair enough. I believe you guys are able to see the screen. Now, let us try to understand when you talk about the business central product, what does it has in it? What does it brings along with it? Okay, so we say that we have, I'll just collapse. We have one of the key feature, we have finance. I will expand it and you can also see what are the further features of finance. So we have finance, we have basic HR, we have manufacturing, discrete manufacturing, we have projects, constructions, contracting, services, ERP implementation companies or service companies. We have procurement, or you can say purchasing, or you can say supply chain management, purchasing. And then you remember in the last slide, I have spoken about the rapid. That rapid is this rapid. We have a rapid implementation methodology available out of the box. We have resource. You must have seen in my first slide that the inventory, you have, if you want to track your inventory, if you want to track your resources, the resources are two types, man and machines. So any, let us say you are giving equipments for rental, or you are having something, okay, so, or you are managing anything to do with your resources, the resource management helps you. The sales and marketing, now again, this business central not only has sales, but it also has a small CRM in place out of the box available, which is known as a marketing, and it can be also integrated at the next level with the dynamic CRM or with the other CRM. Okay, we then get into the service industries. Okay, facility management services and consultancy services and all those kind of services. We then get into the warehouse, the bins, the zones, the racks, the shelves. So these are modules. We have an IT admin in place, and I've just tried to expand it. So when I expand, what it further gives to you is that it just gives an insight that when I talk about a finance, it has a general ledger, it has a cash and bank management, cost accounting, accounts receivables, accounts payables, fixed assets management, inventory costing, and then of course the setup, which you can find it everywhere. So that setup. So this was the first screen, which gives you an insight of what does the product have and to what level, what are the further modules as well as sorry, sub modules which are in having. Now I will take you to the second screen of the product, which will again give you the second insight. So let us now try to understand. Okay. So let us try to comprehend this screen. What is this? So this is nothing but we call it as a dashboard. Okay. When we say a dashboard, all of us today, this is very frequently in terminology which is coming to the picture, that there has to be dashboards available. So this is, we call it as a role center, we call it as a home page, or you can call it as a landing page, or you can call it as a dashboards. Now these dashboards, by default, there are 25 different dashboards available. I'll just take you to, so the dashboard is nothing but, let us say that for a specific role this dashboard is designed, and for a specific role, you see, everybody will have some sort of action doing on a daily basis. So that is what is covered in actions. Rather than going through the systems and navigating through the screens, you have everything on one place. Okay, now there can be some important announcements from the company per se, or for a particular department. Let us see, if I'm into the sales and I want to tell my team that hooray, we have reached today's target of $1 billion sales, I can put it over here so it can be seen to my entire people. Let us go slowly down. Okay, we see there are some key performance figures. Okay, and that too figures with the colors. So these are all things which I have, which comes out of the box and which we can define. Okay, that when my target overdue sales invoice amount, you see, it's $63,000. So I mean, these are some facts and some figures, company specific, role specific, department specific, you can define and it will show to you. Okay, these are known as tiles, dynamic tiles we call it as. Let us say if I want to know how many sales quote are open, 3, how many orders are open, 5. Okay, so how many, there are boxes in terms showing you the purchase. Similarly, you have your user tasks, email status, approvals, timesheets. Okay, when you get into the service management, and slowly if you come down, you have that visual comes into the picture. Okay, which is the management does not understand or want to comprehend or go into the detail. They would like to see a picture, a snapshot. So that's what this is what we call it about. Okay, see, you can see here, right, Power BI reports. It is an out of box integration with the Power BI reports. So you have a report which can be seen here. You have an option also to select different kinds of reports, which are, these are certain reports which are already out of box available. Okay, so you have flexibility to check different reports. Now let us say, apart from that, there can be certain charts and reports, or as a finance guy, I would like to know that what is my certain, how much petty cash I have today's basis. So I come to know what is my AP and AR. Okay, what is my trial balance, departmental wise, location wise, region wise. Okay, so this is what I have showed you about the dashboard. Similarly, you see this dashboard, I have an option. Okay, I can immediately go, I can go to my settings. Okay, this dashboard was business manager. Okay, I can now go to the sales order processor. So by default, there are 25 different kinds of dashboards available. Okay, for all of us, specific to the roles, like for the sales guy, I can use this one. Okay, so couple of seconds and we will be able to see that the entire screen is changed, and the role is now very much suited for a sales guy. So for a sales guy, how many orders are ready to ship, how many are partially shipped, how many are delayed. Okay, and just take you to, so just I wanted to just give you that kind of heads up in terms of what are the dashboards. So this is a dashboard or homepage or role center, and there are around standard out of box dashboards available. Fair enough. I will now take you to couple of screens, when which we talk about the simplicity or the easiness of the product. So I'm now just bringing a customer card. I'm also bringing an item card. I'm also bringing a purchase order, and I'm also bringing a sales order. Now, do you remember that I had told in the previous slide that the product has a simple and same UI across the system, standard system across all applications. Okay, so that is what I wanted to show to you. Look at the customer card. You can see these are nothing but different fields. Actually, it has around 100, 200 fields, but clubbed and in a family of one tab, which we call it as a general tab, address tab. Now I will take you to the item card. Can you see the item card? It also looks in a similar way. Okay. Now let me take you to the purchase order. Look, the purchase order also looks the similar way. And let me look into the sales order. The sales order also looks in the similar way. So just to give you a heads up, what I wanted to tell you was that across the system, across all masters, okay, fixed asset master, bank asset, bank card, resource, machine, customer, item, vendor, they all are developed or presented in a similar way. Okay, their fields grouped into family, which is known as a tabs. And not only the masters, but transactions also are built in a similar fashion. I can expand any of this. Like, see, I go down and it expands. Okay, see, I have expanded it now. So the moment you expand, you are able to see. Now, not only I can do expand, but let us say, that now let me get into, so this was something which was talked about simple and easy. Now let me try to demonstrate you about the personalization or the less code and the no code. What does I mean? See, now this is again one of the, just look at it. So you have personalization. Let us say that my people would not like to see these hundreds of fields. I would only like to see 5 fields. Okay. So can I do that? So we can say yes. Now the next question would be, but not only this, I would like to have across the application, I would like to make it 5 or 6 fields or maximum 10 fields. So the question, can I do that? So the answer is that yes. The next, who will do it? So you guys only, your people can, the champion user can do it. Okay. Now, how? So we have personalization. With this personalization, I'll just demonstrate you. The personalization, see, as I move to all the fields, okay, it gives me the facility to hide or show. I hide it, and khalas, it's hidden. So see, now you can understand the power with this personalization. Now personalization is something which is specific to a person or a user for a specific department. Okay, so for a specific person, any kind of master, any kind of transactions, I can customize it, or I can make it simple or complicated however I want it. I can make it first simple, and gradually as I go, I can give him more and more fields or more and more important fields. So this is what I wanted to demonstrate you. Okay, I will just, now this personalization is available across the system. Okay, now immediately there will be next question coming in, that when we say personalization, of course it means for that particular user. But let us say for I want to standardize it across my organization, across my department. So then we have an advanced setting. Okay, the advanced settings also works in a similar way, but it not only, it does not lock it for a user, but it locks for specific role which has been then assigned to a particular person. That's how it is. Okay, so that is, I just wanted to tell you about. And there are different kinds of setups also available, which we talk about rapid. So again, I will close one by one all this. Okay, let me just remove one by one all the, and we are back. Yep. So just give me another second. So I then take you to the next slide, or you can see one of the last section, which we talk about section 4. Now this is nothing but business case study, again based on all around 50 plus or 100 plus implementations which I have done or we have done together as a team. Okay, I am presenting you that where it can be implemented, which are the industries where it can be implemented, whether it has been implemented or not. To answer all these questions, this is the slide. Okay, so let us take first financials. Lot of the companies, I mean, lot of the companies which has only, let us talk which kind of company. So let us say we have seen that there are some group companies, or there are money or funds which comes in one company, or partners which inject funds into one company. This company then distributes the fund to the second company or the operational company. Okay, at the same time, there are also partners which put the fund into one company, and then there are a lot of investment done in terms of real estate or stock investment. Other than that also, there are a lot of pure financial informations: expense income, goes, money goes out, money comes, cash outflow, cash inflow, cash outflow, cash inflow. So all these kind of things, okay, are very good examples of financials. I mean, in this kind of companies, Business Central can be implemented in a fantastic way, which has been, we have been also, our team have implemented it in a quite success and effective way. The financials also covers not only financials, but cash and bank management, accounts payable, accounts receivable, fixed asset management, and then probably you talk about the management reporting, MIS reporting. So these are the things which is been covered under the financials. There are almost lots and lots of companies where the implementation has been done. I mean, in other words, there are no items. Okay, other than items, there are all kinds of transactions superbly taken care by financials. So, second, I wanted to give the domain is the back office. Now, what does this back office mean? So, let us try to give you an example of a bank. I myself was a part of an implementation team. So, there are banks, and the main the system which bank has, they are much expensive and costly. Okay, so what does the people do? So, okay, front line, you can use an system which per user license is very heavy or very expensive. But let us talk about others, the back office, the entire back office management, the payables, the receivables, the stock of, not the real inventory but class B, class C inventory. Okay, consolidations, okay, managing reporting, what is the detailed balance, this kind of reporting. This is what we manage with the help of back office. So the back office operations, Navision or Business Central implementation works fantastic. And there are number of examples like this. Like there are insurance companies. The insurance system in itself is in a different database or different versions or different way. But then the back office operations are managed with the help of this ARP, Business Central. Third and most is the consolidations. We always see that there are today's there are a lot of mergers, there are a lot of acquisitions, there are different accounting periods, there are different currencies, reporting currencies, and then there are different reporting formats. Like we have schedule 3, schedule 4, or across the world there are different. So how do you manage this without hampering your current business operations, or without touching or without impacting your current financials? So you have a consolidation in place. Okay, anybody would like to know anything more demonstration, you can always get touch to our team. We have Swapnil, we have Arnav. Okay, you can get in touch to him, and then we are very, very happy and very, very eager to help you to showcase the demonstration. So let us get into, so financials back office consolidation is one family. Okay, let us get to the another family, which we call about a trading, a contracting, and the construction. Trading, okay, it's all about purchases and sales. Let us say we have some lot of companies are there who have distributorship, okay, of a European company or a US brand, or any XYZ brand from any XYZ ABC company. Okay, and they have to meet a certain targets. There are certain rate contractual orders which comes into the picture. Okay, there are certain pricing policies which comes into the picture. There are certain discount structure which comes into the picture. There is a lending cost which comes into the picture. So all these things is being taken care. Multiple pricings, multiple customer groups. Okay, there are different groups, discounting groups, pricing structures, item catalog changing on a monthly basis, the profitability changing. These all things, you can manage it with the help of what price I should keep to have this much margin. Okay, there is a concept which we call it as a margin on line basis. Okay, everybody would like to know that it's not about the order, but order wise, line wise, what is my contribution? Okay, profit, what is the contribution of an item for in terms of profit line wise. Okay, these kind of things are there. Okay, so it has been taken care of. Then comes the contracting. Okay, labors contracts has been given. Okay, and then how you manage them. Then comes the construction also, which is not only, it varies from one building to groups of buildings, properties, real estates, rental, all these things covers. And by far we are able to, so far so good, we are able to implement it successfully. We get into the another family which we call it as a projects. I take down, which is the projects and services. So let us take any implementation company, any turnkey company, any company which is project based. Okay, so the projects comes into the picture. Services, okay, all of us are conversant of services, different kinds of services which we give, which we cater, which we provide, which we take, which we give, or which we are bound to give. Okay, we can manage, we can control, we can monitor. Okay, again we have consultancy. We are a partner, we offer some sort of services, we just give an advice and we take money. Okay, and then there are it's like the training, the training is one of a very big, domain, so how do the training would manage, because they don't have as such any inventory in place. There are people who would come, session would be conducted, the revenue would come, the expense would happen, so the consultancy comes to the picture. And last but not the least, the manufacturing is very, very vast. But then of course, in terms of what are my items coming in and going out, consumption, okay, and output on a daily basis or on a recurring basis, yes, we can capture, okay, profitability, item costing, okay, the production bombs, okay, these things, yes, available, implemented, done, and trial and tested, done. So this was the last slide which I wanted to present to you, dear friends. Thanks for being with me. I'll just take you to the last slide. And this is nothing but our question and answer sessions. So probably, now I would also invite Swapnil, and at the same time I would like you guys to please pop in your questions or do connect with us. Okay, yeah, Swapnil.
Thanks, Prashant, and thanks for a very interactive as well as very immersive session so far. I like to invite questions from the audience if they have. They can put this question through the chat box that is in the Q&A. They can write it here, and definitely Prashant from our side as well as Arnav will try to answer those questions. I like to invite questions from the audience. So I just read out one question for Prashant for you. So we have got a one question. Uh, First is from the Sushil Samant, that anything specific for the TMS.
uh, any specific for the TMS we mean to say? You can just elaborate more your questions or what you would like to know.
Okay,
Or
I will till that time Mr. Sushil comes. We can take the another question that is from Mr. Aditya. And Aditya has asked, can we have BC on premises?
so uh, we would say that, as per the Microsoft, okay, the current, so straight away it is no, we don't have BC on premise, okay, because what happens, so we need to, now the answer is no, but you also need to understand, that if you go with on premise, you are going one step backward, okay. Probably there are hundreds, I would say more than hundreds of features or things, which we suddenly miss out. The reason being, as I mentioned, one question very important, to that I should be technologically wise, I should be compliant with today's as well as upcoming my businesses or my technologies. So now Microsoft knows, okay, what, like today they have Teams, okay, they have Power Apps, they have Power Platform, they know very well that what tomorrow I'm going to bring. So what happens is that, if you go with on cloud, okay, they have already prepared for it, and they are prepared it, and they have deployed it. Like today, if you go with an on cloud, the entire versions, database management, bug fixes, they take care by themselves. So they only take care of themselves, and they only provide all the integrations features for you without absolutely any cost, okay, like the integrations, okay, the technology compliance, everything headache goes. So I would say that, there is a reason of Microsoft stopping the on-premise part, and why, you would also, I would also suggest you, to go with an on cloud, because it is much, 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 much better and advantage for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I request few more participants to ask the questions. If you have got more answers, sorry, more questions from your side. Okay. I'm just releasing one poll. Please share your feedback. So we'll wait for the 2 minutes of the time so that participant can answer the poll. Okay. In meantime, if you do have some questions from any questions from the participant, they can definitely ask. Okay. So we have got one more question, Prashant. And question is that give me some idea about distributor slash dealer slash reseller related solutions.
Yeah. So I'll take one more minute for this. So there are, when we talk about distributions, dealers, resellers, okay, whenever we always have some sort of contract or some sort of mutual agreement with this kind of people. Okay, so in the business central there are standard pricing policies, as well as in terms of specific items. So item specific pricings are there, item specific distribution, your dealer specific pricings are there, and then this distribution can be a specific region. So for a specific group of customers, so we can have this kind of combinations we can do, and we can come out with a standard pricing policies. So this is what is available. At the same time, your distributor, your dealer may have a unique item, he may be terming as a different names. Okay, so we have item cross reference, which helps to name the product based on the customers, or your partner's definition. So you can have your pricing policies, you can have your naming conventions, your descriptions. Other than that, also, if you have a couple of key parameters which are very much related to your distribution, dealer, reseller, the same can be incorporated. That kind of flexibility is there with our current business central system. Yeah, I hope you have answered.
In fact, I just like to add to it, Prashant. I see that Mr. Rakesh can even request a demo from our side and a complete demo to highlight the distributor, dealer, and reseller related solution what Microsoft BC offers. We can definitely demonstrate it to Mr. Rakesh in that case.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I think we should go to the next slide, Prashant.
Okay.
Okay. And
Yeah.
if any doubt or if you need any more help or support related to Microsoft Business Central, definitely you can get in touch with Mr. Arnav. Arnav's email ID is arnav.kumar@satincorp.com, and you can even reach him onto his mobile number, that is 9689740303. You may even reach us onto our website, that is satincorp.com. I like to announce that let's conclude this session now.
Yeah.
I like to thank all the participants for their patience as well as investing their valuable time with us and helping us even to understand their perspective, as well as giving an opportunity to present our ideas in front of this audience. Thanks a lot. Let's connect for the next
Yeah.
webinar
Thanks.
very soon, maybe in the next month. Thanks for your poll. Through that poll, I see that few of people have given the rating to some of the topics, and we are sure we'll bring all those topics in our upcoming webinars regularly. So till that time, stay connected with us, keep updated with us, and thanks again. Thank you. Thanks, Arnav. Thanks, Prashant.